I forgot to add this little bit to the video, but I just want to say if you guys are finding these videos useful, please leave a comment down below, leave a like so I know that you like the format, and if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would highly appreciate it. These videos take a long time to make. I'm not getting paid for them. I'm doing all of this for free, and I'm trying to help everybody out. I'm trying to pump them out as quick as possible, so please, if you can help me out, I highly appreciate it. And with that being said, let's begin. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Omega Math Services, the last place where you look for math help. Today we'll be going over a bunch of official SAT questions that should take you no more than a couple of seconds to solve. Obviously, the video is going to be longer because I'm going to take the time to explain my own thinking and how to actually do the problem. The goal is to hopefully help you reduce the time on your exams. Matter of fact, I know these tricks will help you reduce the time you take on your SATs, all right? So let's begin. And the first question that we're going to hit is this one. It says, if x minus 1 over 3 equals to k and k equals to 3, what is the value of x? Right away, guys, the thing I can tell you is the answer is, I actually already circled it in, and the answer is D. Now, how do I know that? Well, because in my head, right, what is the first thing they're telling you? They're telling you that k is equals to 3. So I rewrite everything, and that's what I did in my head, right? Now, this is a very important lesson. You can only cross multiply, so you can only cross multiply, you guys, when there's an equal sign in between. So please make sure that you remember that. All right, so if there's no equal sign, you can't cross multiply. Now, the next thing you do, right, is you put a 1 underneath. Now you just cross multiply, right? Like I said, that goes with that, that goes with that, and so we get x minus 1 equals to 9. If you add plus 1 on both sides, that gives you that the answer is x is equals to 10. See, all that basic mental, see, this problem is really simple. That's why I was able to do it in my head. You just look at it and just solve it, right? With good enough practice, trust me, you will get to this level. So that's the first question. All right, everybody. So this is going to be the second question that we're going to go over. And right away, I read it and it says, if 3x minus y equals to 12, what is the value of a to the x over 2y? This is a really simple problem. And in my head, I can already tell you without thinking that, well, there is a little thought, obviously, but the answer is A. Now, why is the answer A? It's really simple, actually. You see, you guys, 8 and 2, right? Well, what equals 2? Well, 2 to the first power. Then, from here, I have 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 8. So 8 can be rewritten to 2 to the third power. So I replace everything right here. So 8 becomes 2 to the 3 x over 2 to the y. Now, this is where your rules of exponents come into play. So you should know that whenever there's parentheses, you can multiply the exponents. And so that gets rewritten, right? We will rewrite it as 2 to the 3x over 2y. From there, what do I know? Whenever you divide exponents and they have the same base, we can actually rewrite that as a subtraction. So 2, and then we just subtract the exponents, 3x minus y. And what do we say? 3x minus y equals 2? 12. So that's why I get 2 to the 12th power. Again, it seems like it's taking me a long time to actually solve the problem, but it's not. It's just right away. I know my powers of 2, right? So 2 to the first is 2, and then we said 2 to the third is 8, 2 to the fourth is 16, and so on. It's just from practice. But trust me, you guys, that with time you can get to this level, all right? So this was all done in my head. Again, I'm just taking the time to explain this to you guys. So let's move on to the next question. All right, here's another really simple question. You should know this factoring technique, and it's okay if you don't. But right away, it says, all right, let's read it first. If t is greater than 0 and t squared minus 4 equals to 0, what is the value of t? Here's what's really helping me out, right? That the value of t is greater than 0. That's the first thing I know. Now, an important rule that comes up over and over on the SATs is this one. It's called the difference, and you will hear me talk about this over and over again, of two squares. Okay? So, what is the difference of two squares? Basically, if we have a squared minus b squared, we can just write right away, just write it as a plus b, a minus b. Okay? So how does this apply to the problem? Well, let's see. T can be rewritten as t squared, right? Because t to the second power. Now, minus, what can 4 be rewritten as? Well, 4 is the same as 2 times 2, which is 2 squared. So we put 2 squared. Now, does this match what I talked about, right? So does this match right here? It turns out that it does, right? So now what you do is you just got to copy your formula. You label this as A and this as B. From there, this is why it took me like 1 second, because I already knew this formula right here. So this whole entire formula. So my A is T, so I put T on both sides. And we put a plus and a minus. And then B is 2. And there you go. We've just factored. Now we said all of this what? Equals 0, right? So T plus 2 equals to 0. That means T equals to 2, right? Because we subtract 2 from both sides. And then T plus 2 equals to 0. Subtract 2 from both sides, and we get that T equals negative 2. Now, how do I know which one's my answer? Well, it goes back to the beginning of the question. What did they say? T is greater than 0, meaning the value of T has to be positive. So the answer then is T equals to 2. And there you go. T equals to 2. Trust me, once you get these type of formulas down, the problems become really easy. And this one took me at most 5 seconds to do. All right, next question. All right, I cannot explain to you guys how simple this question is, and you should not be losing points on it. It is very straightforward. It says John runs at a different speed as part of his training program. The graph shows his target heart rate at different times during his workout. On which interval is the target heart rate strictly increasing and then strictly decreasing? So what makes this problem really simple is that this is the keyword right here, strictly, meaning it is going straight up, right? Because it's strictly increasing, and then what? Strictly decreasing. And they want to know the time interval. So I'm going to look basically over here. Now, the only place where it's actually just going up straight and then going down is right here. It goes up and then it goes down. And the only interval where that happens is right here, from 40 to 60. So the answer is B. And you could see that didn't take long. You just needed to basically read the question correctly. All right. So it says, in the figure above, lines L and M are parallel and lines S and T are parallel. If the measure of angle 1 is 35, what is the measure of angle 2? All right. This is really easy because the answer is going to be 145. Let's go over why that is. So, okay, we are told, so the key in solving this problem is that we are told that these lines are parallel. Okay, right here. Now, when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, they make these angles. And we are told that this is 35. So, because these are parallel lines, right, like we said, these two right here, they make angles right there. So 35, those two are equal. Now from there, this is another way to visualize the lines, because we know that these are parallel. I know that this is 35 as well, okay? Because these lines are being cut by a transversal, and so angle 2 and angle 35 and this should add up to 180 degrees. And 180 minus 35 is going to give you 145, and therefore that's your answer. All right, so here's the other question. This is actually one that it's a little advanced, but it's straightforward if you understand it. So it says, for what value of n is the absolute value of n minus 1 plus 1 equals to 0? Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it, right? So n minus 1 plus 1 equals to 0, right? From there, let's try to isolate everything. And that equals to negative 1. That's it. I know some people are going to try to break the equation, but no. You guys, you have to understand something. And this is a very important tip. This part right here, the absolute value of whatever, so the absolute value of x, is always going to be greater than, and this is really important, greater than or equal to 0. Okay? Why is that important? We'll read it again. The absolute value is always going to be greater than or equal to 0. We're saying here that the absolute value of n minus 1 is negative 1. That should already be a red flag, because the absolute value can never spit out a negative number. Therefore, the answer is D. There is no such value of n. Again, this is just a fact that you kind of need to know. It will help you out greatly if you do. And if you don't, it's okay, but I wanted to show you this shortcut right away in case you didn't see that. So let's move on to the next question. All right. I cannot tell you how simple this question is. It is straightforward, and it says the graph above displays the total cost C in dollars of renting a boat for H hours. Okay, so what is the C intercept? In other words, right here. What does the C intercept represent in the graph? All right. Now, the only possible way I can explain this to you is that to basically rent something, right? Think about it. Let's say you want to rent an apartment. Well, you got to pay the rent, right? But there's always that little hidden fee of like, I don't know, like moving costs, things like that. There's always little fees. Nothing, the best saying is there's nothing free in this world. Now, what this little graph dot is showing you here is that there's already a fee for renting the boat. Because if there wasn't, it would start right here at 0. But no, there is a fee, which is marked right here. So the C represents, is it the initial cost of renting the boat? The total number of boats rented? No, because nothing talks about this. Total number of hours the boat is rented? Nope. Total hours is down there, so that can't be it. The increase in cost to rent the boat for each additional hour. Well, yeah, the line is showing us that, right? The whole entire line is showing us how much that is. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about just this one point here. So the only possible answer is A, which is this one right here. Actually, I don't know if it helps better when I highlight it. Oh, well, that's horrible. But yeah, the only answer is A. As you saw, that was a very straightforward question and took nothing but a couple of seconds to solve. So